All right, hello everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a huge topic, maybe the most critical one for any entrepreneur out there: business financing. If you're sitting on a brilliant idea, maybe you're even a student right now, and you're thinking, how do I get this thing off the ground? Well, you're in the right place. We're going to explore exactly how to find the money to make that idea a reality.
I mean, this is the classic problem, right? You've got this incredible, game-changing business idea, but your bank account? It's just not on the same page. It's the one thing that can stop a brilliant concept dead in its tracks. But look, don't worry. We're going to map out the entire financial journey for you, from that first spark of an idea all the way to a growing business. Okay, so let's jump right in. Here's what we're covering today. First up, we'll talk about why you even need capital in the first place. Then we'll look at the timing, when you'll need it as your business grows. After that, we'll get into the specifics of where to find it. And finally, the really important part, how you actually get that loan approved.
All right, first things first, we have to start with the foundation. Let's really get into why capital is the absolute lifeblood of any new business. I mean, without it, even the most amazing idea in the world is, well, it's just an idea stuck on paper.
You know, it's really easy to think that funding is just for the huge stuff, right? Like buying heavy machinery or getting an office space. But really, it's so much more than that. Capital is for the daily grind. It's for paying your people, buying the raw materials to make your product, literally keeping the lights on, and yeah, of course, telling the world you exist through marketing. It's the fuel for every single part of the engine.
So when you go looking for that fuel, you'll find there are basically two main roads you can take. On one side, you've got equity financing. Think of this as selling a slice of the pie. You give an investor a piece of your company, and they give you cash. On the other side, there's debt financing. This one's more like a typical loan. You borrow money, and you have to pay it back, almost always with interest. So it's a choice. Do you give up ownership, or do you take on debt?
Okay, so let's switch gears and talk about timing, because this is super important. Your need for money isn't just a one-time thing. Nope, it changes a lot as your business grows and evolves. So this next part is all about that financial journey. And we can actually map out that journey. It starts way before you even open your doors in what we call the idea development phase. Then, once you're officially in business, you hit the really tough part, the survival stage. And then, if you make it through that, and that's a big if, you get to the exciting part, the growth stage. Every single one of these stages has totally different financial challenges and opportunities. So yeah, it all kicks off right here in that idea phase. This is the pre-startup scramble where you're just trying to turn a cool concept into an actual workable plan. The money you get here is usually called seed financing, like you're planting a seed, right? And let's be honest, at this stage, it's almost always coming from your own pocket or from family and friends, the people who believe in you from day one. Okay, then you hit the survival stage, and this is really make or break time. You've launched, but the money is only trickling in while the bills are piling up. Your only goal here is to stay afloat, just cover those costs. And this is often when you start looking for outside help, from lenders or maybe even investors who see the long-term potential in what you're doing.
And then you hit the goal, the growth stage. This is when your business has finally found its rhythm and it just starts to take off. Profits are climbing, you're grabbing more of the market, and you start to see something called economies of scale kick in. Basically, the more you make, the cheaper it gets to make each one. This is when things get really exciting.
All right, so we've covered the why and the when. Now, let's open up the toolbox and look at the what. What are the actual sources of funding you can tap into? Now, a really important area for us to cover, especially in Malaysia, is Sharia-compliant financing. And look, these aren't just your standard everyday loans. These are financial products built on very specific ethical principles and contracts. We're going to check out 3 of the most common ones: Ijara, Wakalah, and Ar-Rahanu.
Okay, first up, a JARA. The best way to think about this is just like a lease. Let's say your business needs a new delivery van. Instead of you taking out a big loan to buy it, the bank or financial institution buys the van for you. Then they lease it to you for a fixed amount of time. The result? You get the van you need without having to pay that massive upfront cost.
Next, we have Wakalah. This is basically an agency contract. You appoint an organization, like an Islamic bank, to be your agent to do something specific. For instance, you could give them capital and say, hey, invest this for me in a Sharia-compliant way. It's all about appointing someone you trust to act on your behalf.
And the last one here is Ar-Rahu.
You can think of this as a Sharia-compliant pawn agreement. It's pretty straightforward. You use a valuable asset you own, gold is a common one, as collateral. You hand it over as security, and in return, you get a loan. It's a great way to get cash by using the value of something you already have.
Okay, so we've seen all these different types of funding, but the million-dollar question is, how do you actually get it? The most important thing you can do is to shift your perspective. For a minute, stop thinking like an entrepreneur and start thinking like a lender. What do they need to see? What's going to give them the confidence to write you that check?
And this right here gives us the answer. Lenders use a little framework that's often called the 4 C's. Let's break it down. First is character. Are you honest? Are you trustworthy? Second, capacity. Can you actually afford to pay this back? They'll look at your cash flow. Third is capital. How much of your own money have you put in? They want to see you have some skin in the game. And finally, there's condition. This is the big picture stuff. What's the economy like? What's happening in your specific industry?
So there you have it. We've gone through the why, the when, the what, and the how of getting your business funded. You basically have a roadmap now for that whole financial journey, from a tiny idea all the way to a growing company. So I guess the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?